these men from colleges all over the country, this had been more than a period of instruction. Living together, being in the field with one another, learning the give and take of military life, this had been a maturing experience that could not have come from the classrooms to which they would soon return. Now it was the fourth and last year of R.O.T.C. Among the responsibilities of upperclassmen is participation in cadet boards, which decide questions of discipline arising within the Corps.
Now, I see it this way. We've had to give this man 8 demerits in the past month. Obviously, he just doesn't seem to care. I think we should deny his appeal.
I don't agree. I don't think we ought to judge this man on his past performance, which has no relation to this case. The cadet says this particular lateness couldn't be helped, and it's up to us to decide whether or not his excuse is a legitimate one.
To reach a decision calmly and justly, this is an essential task of a troop commander. With his talent for feeling out a problem and reaching a good common sense conclusion, Ken grew in stature in his last year of R.O.T.C.
Overlap that time.
Why don't you see Colonel Moore? Let's talk to him about it. I'm sure he can figure something out. Okay?
Thank you, sir. Sir, I've been directed to report to you to explain the 2 demerits I received for unkempt appearance at inspection this afternoon.
Before you go any further, this uniform doesn't fit you very well. Let's get down to the supply room and see if we can't fix you up. What'd you do, grow this summer?
Yes, sir, I did.
At the military ball during his senior year, Ken was there with his best girl. In fact, the girl. The announcement of the engagement, planned as a very formal speech with carefully chosen words, was a surprise to no one. The big question was, how soon were they going to be married? They couldn't say exactly when, but more important in Ken's future, and his wife's too, was the decision he had made to become an officer. Graduation came at last. After it, cap and gown were removed to attend a special ceremony in which each qualifying R.O.T.C. graduate received his commission as a 2nd lieutenant.
Gentlemen, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I,
Kenneth Miller,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter. So help me God.
So help me God.
After graduation, this is what happened to Lieutenant Kenneth Miller, a period of training during which Ken requested duty overseas. Marriage to the girl he met in college. Shortly after, he received his assignment, duty in Germany. Here indeed was a place to spend the honeymoon that had been postponed. During his overseas tour, he and his wife were able to visit Rome. They became ardent tourists. Paris, of course, was on the agenda. And there was skiing in Switzerland. Back in the States, Ken was assigned to duty with the 3rd U.S. Army Missile Command at Fort Bragg. Meanwhile, the family had begun to grow. Pam, his first girl, born in an Army hospital, and a real healthy youngster. Today, Pam has grown up and has been followed by Kathy. At Fort Bragg, 1st Lieutenant Miller and his wife live in a pleasant little home quite near their many friends. Good friends, such as Lieutenant Guy Bedrosian, another former Cornell R.O.T.C. man who captained the football team at Cornell and now coaches the Fort Bragg 11. Whether Ken will return to civilian life after his period of active duty, or whether he will remain for another period of service in the Army, he has already gained much from his experience in R.O.T.C, and his country has gained as well. Without men trained as he has been, the United States would lose an advantage impossible to measure. Having capable military leaders for whatever eventualities may arise in the troubled world of today.
America continues to require a hard core of reserve officers to keep itself strong. Organizations such as the R.O.T.C offer opportunities for men with leadership abilities to become officers, to help themselves for whatever future they plan, and as citizens to serve their country to the best of their ability. Now, this is Sergeant Stuart Queen, your host for The Big Picture.
The Big Picture is an official television report for the armed forces and the American people. Produced by the Army Pictorial Center. Presented by the United States Army in cooperation with this station.